All right, let's dive into one of the biggest, most mind-bending riddles in all of science. Think of it like a cosmic detective story. The crime scene? The entire universe. And the mystery is pretty simple. Space is unbelievably, ridiculously big, packed with possibilities for life, and yet, when we listen in, all we get is silence. So, let's start the investigation. First things first, to really get the scale of this mystery, you have to wrap your head around just how vast the universe is. I mean, it's way beyond big. Astronomers think there are something like 2 trillion galaxies out there. Not planets, not stars, 2 trillion galaxies. And every single one of them is packed with billions of its own stars. The numbers are just staggering, almost impossible to even imagine. And that, of course, leads to the big, glaring question. With all of that cosmic real estate, all those countless chances for life to spark, shouldn't the universe be a pretty busy, noisy place? But when we point our telescopes out and listen, we hear nothing. Just static and eerie quiet. It's the question that's been bugging scientists for decades. If the universe is so full of stuff, then where is everybody? Okay, so let's really get into the heart of this riddle. Let's break down this massive contradiction between what we think should be out there and what we actually see. Here's the basic conflict. On one side, you've got the math, and it seems like a slam dunk. We know for a fact there are billions of planets that could potentially support life just in our own galaxy. Equations like the famous Drake equation even suggest there could be thousands, maybe millions, of intelligent civilizations out there. But then you look at the other side of the ledger, the great silence. We've been actively searching for decades, and what have we found? Absolutely nothing, not a peep. High probability meets zero evidence. That's the paradox. And this whole puzzle has a name, the Fermi Paradox. It's named after the brilliant physicist Enrico Fermi, who, legend has it, was just talking about this stuff over lunch back in 1950. He realized that any advanced civilization could cross the galaxy pretty fast, cosmically speaking. So the fact that we don't see any sign of them, well, that's a really deep problem. So let's look at some of the top theories trying to solve. Our first potential answer is, well, it's probably the most unsettling one. It's a concept called the Great Filter. The idea is that the universe has this incredibly tough obstacle course, and almost nobody makes it through. So, just picture the path to becoming a spacefaring civilization as a series of major hurdles. First, life has to get started at all. Then it has to evolve from simple goo into complex creatures. After that, it has to get smart. And finally, that intelligence has to build a technological society capable of reaching for the stars. The Great Filter theory says that one of these steps isn't just a hurdle, it's a nearly impossible wall that stops almost every form of life in its tracks. And this leads to a really chilling question for us, for humanity. If this filter is real, where are we in relation to it? Is the hardest part, like the jump from non-living chemicals to the first cell, already in our rearview mirror? If so, we're incredibly lucky. Or is the Great Filter still waiting for us up ahead? Maybe it's a challenge, like nuclear war or climate change, that no civilization anywhere has managed to survive yet. Okay, let's shift gears to theory number 2. This one flips the script. It's not about a natural barrier. It's about a deliberate choice. What if they're out there, but they're hiding from us on purpose? Welcome to the zoo hypothesis. You know, if you're a Star Trek fan, you know all about the Prime Directive, that big rule about not interfering with less advanced cultures. Well, the zoo hypothesis is basically that, on a cosmic scale. The idea is that super advanced civilizations might be all over the place, and they're watching us, maybe studying us, kind of like we study animals in a nature preserve. They have a strict hands-off policy and are just waiting for us to grow up, to mature enough as a species before they say hello. And if you want to take that idea and go even deeper down the rabbit hole, what if we're not just in a zoo, but in a simulation? In that scenario, the reason we don't see any aliens is simple. The programmers just never wrote them into our code. It sounds like pure science fiction, I know, but it's a surprisingly difficult idea for physicists and philosophers to completely rule out. All right, our third major theory basically turns the whole paradox upside down. It says, hey, maybe our starting assumption that life should be everywhere is just flat out wrong. Maybe we're the special ones. This is called the rare Earth hypothesis, and it suggests that for intelligent life to happen, you need this insanely perfect and fragile set of conditions. You need a big moon like ours to keep the planet's wobble in check and stabilize the climate. You need a giant planet like Jupiter way out there to act as a cosmic bodyguard, soaking up deadly asteroids. You need to be in just the right part of the galaxy, not too close to the chaotic, irradiated center, but not too far out in the boonies. The list goes on and on. So while simple microbial life might be common, the long chain of lucky breaks that led to us could be unbelievably rare. So what's the takeaway here? Does this mean we're completely alone in this vast, dark universe? Or could it just mean we're the first ones to show up? The party might not be empty. Maybe we're just early and the other guests haven't arrived yet. So, after looking at all these clues, all these theories, where does that leave our detective story? Well, the honest answer is the case is still wide open. But that doesn't mean we're just sitting around and waiting. No way. The investigation is happening right now, as we speak. You've got projects like SETI with giant radio telescopes pointed at the sky, constantly listening for any signal that doesn't sound natural. Our incredible new telescopes like the James Webb are not only finding thousands of new planets, but are starting to be able to sniff their atmospheres, looking for the chemical signs of life. And we're already dreaming up missions to send probes to nearby star systems for a closer look. The search is on. So I'll leave you with this question. After hearing the evidence, which clue makes the most sense to you? Do you think the universe is silent because of some great filter that nobody can pass? Are we being secretly watched in a cosmic zoo? Or are we just the result of a 1 in a trillion cosmic lottery, making us a truly rare Earth? The silence is the mystery. And whatever the answer turns out to be, it tells us something profound about our own place in the cosmos.